Thank you for joining us at FutureMoneyTrends.com. I'm here with a good friend. His name is Lior Gantz. I met him several years ago through the Future Money Trends website. We ended up meeting in Carlsbad, California, and then eventually we met in Hawaii as well. And he really kind of sparked just a spirit of entrepreneurship that had always been in me. But, I mean, he just really inspired me to better my life and to invest more into entrepreneurship and investing. Again, these are things I was already doing, but being friends with this guy was like a breath of fresh air. Lior, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Lior is with the company, or is the founder of a company called L&A Real Estate Solutions Provider. He's doing something very unique in the States here. And I just kind of wanted to talk to you today, Lior, about the real estate market in general, what people can do to better their lives in real estate. Let me just start off by asking you, what is a solutions provider in real estate? What does that even mean?
Sure. Well, we are a solutions provider. Basically, is a new breed of companies that is emerging right now in the current market conditions. Basically, what you had in the 80s and 90s was a wholesaling model where an investor would basically mass market a particular pocket of the market to find 30 to 40 to 50% discounted properties. That doesn't work anymore. Solutions provider is a boutique operation catering to specific niches currently in the market. It's a one-stop shop for buyers and sellers to come in and find the best and most appropriate deals for them. So if you're talking rehabbers, you're talking discounted properties that are in popular neighborhoods where they can come in and fix and flip. If you're talking landlords, then we're more into high-yielding rental real estate in very good, stable job markets. And if you're a seller on the other end, then what we're talking here is getting the best out of your situation. There's all kinds of situations to individuals today. Some individuals don't have any equity; they're upside down. They're pre-foreclosure. Some are free and clear. It just depends, and that's the whole purpose of a solution provider. You come in, and it's like a home for you. We help with catering to your specific needs. We don't mass market. We get to know you. We build a relationship, and therefore we tailor a solution perfect for you. So I guess that about sums it up.
That's a good description. So for each individual listening to this, some people, they might not know anything about real estate. They might have seen some infomercial or something, or maybe they're a current real estate investor like you and I. What part of real estate investments and what role do you think they should play in an individual's life?
Well, it's a good question because people like to jump in and dabble in real estate because it's sexy and it's bricks and mortar, and it's one of the ways that everyone is seeing that you can get wealthy out of. But usually for the individual, it should be a secondary option after owning what we call legacy stocks or the best businesses out there. I'm talking stocks like Microsoft or Intel or Coca-Cola, the blue chips, buying them at the right prices. That should be the core of each individual's position. And you can go back to any wealthy individual and see that his stock portfolio was his main core investment. But then real estate is a phenomenal way to leverage as an individual and use debt to your advantage. Diversify, obviously. Put some of your hard-earned cash in bricks and mortar and not just stocks, paper assets. But you need capital and expert knowledge to do that, to get into real estate. So what you want to do is you got to have the capital and the expert knowledge. That's the blocking point for a lot of starting individuals that are younger and do not have the capital to get going. So what you can do, though, is you can be creative and start off as a property locator or a co-host. But that's a whole other discussion. But that's a great way to get your first checks going.
Lior, what are you seeing right now in the real estate markets?
Okay, that's an excellent question. There's a bunch of things that are happening that are strange, I would say. Investors usually in real estate, they do not use cash to buy 100% of the purchase price. They use leverage. It's usually a 20 to 80 percent. They put 20% down and they leverage 80% with debt. People are now buying real estate for cash. Have you noticed that? You obviously, I know you have.
Yeah, no, it's all over California.
Yeah, and California is an expensive market on an absolute basis throughout the U.S., and it happens all the time, and that's a very weird phenomenon. There's lots of foreign investing, Asian investors that are not even seeing the properties that they're buying. Do you know about that phenomenon?
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing occurrence. There's changing job markets in the U.S. and the baby booms are migrating between states towards the better states to retire in, better weather, better health care, better facilities for them, and that's moving the demographics by a huge margin. And what's driving the markets really is the tough lending requirements mixed with low interest rates, which are bipolar occurrences. Usually, you want to have a soft lending requirement mixed with a low interest rate. That's what will create the appreciation. But now you're seeing the tough lending requirements mixed with low interest rate, and that's what makes it easier for funds to borrow at extremely low rates and get into real estate, whereas individuals are finding it hard to do so.
Yeah. So, is there at this point with the markets the way you're describing them, how could a regular family who maybe doesn't have the perfect credit and is renting, how can they move to that homeownership at this point with the scenario that you just described?
Well, that's an excellent question, and I'll tell you what, it's a huge issue, and it's right now just getting started, and that's a niche called lease option. Basically, if you're a family and you want to move to a better location in your city, better school district, better area, newer construction, and you can approach a lending institution to get approved for a loan, what you must do is become an expert and find a lease option opportunity for you. But that's a huge discussion right there, and I'll just state the benefits of it. Lease options allow you to own today a property, but using only 10% or 15% down, and managing to pay the rest to the seller. So let's say you're a family and you found a great place, you approach the owner of the property and you work out the lease with the term. In the end of the term, you get to own the property. But in the meantime, he doesn't care about your credit as much as he cares about you having a stable job so you can afford the monthly lease payment. And that's an amazing, amazing way to get into ownership again. And I encourage any listener that's listening to this that has found it hard to own again because you can't approach the lending institution to take a look at it. I mean, it's a phenomenal way to get back into ownership. And as a solutions provider, that's some of the things we do. We get approached by common individuals all the time to help them find that perfect lease option. It's not that easy.
Yeah. So what about like on the landlords and rehabber side though? So we talked about families and people who trying to get into a better school district or something. What if you're just looking for a good deal? What would be your advice?
Okay. Well, landlords are a huge part of the investor crowd right now, obviously, because of the high yields in real estate. Rehabbers also make a huge part. That's because there's so many properties that have been left either vacant or foreclosed in bad shape and are ready to get back to the market fixed and flipped. So the first thing I would say is you must have a great relationship with private lenders, and these are just individuals in your sphere that are ready to loan you money with real estate being the collateral. So that's how you would purchase the property. If you need to put any renovations in, you'll need a good relationship with a hard money lender. He'll loan you the money for the renovation. So you're 100% financed with private and hard money, and then you can fix and flip it, give them back their interest. Everybody's happy, and you walk away making a pretty decent check these days in rehabbing. If you're a landlord, that it's just ridiculous. Some of the markets out there, they're yielding 20-25% cash on cash returns. It's a great way. It's a great time to be a baby boomer retiring with a capital to put into rental real estate. What you got to do also is watch out in the auctions. It's a very hard game to play, and if you're just getting started, you can get burned easily. So, as a landlord or as a rehabber, I would caution the listeners that are wanting to get into that niche because it's a professional game. What you also want to do is maybe create some internet presence for you and drive sellers to your website and getting them to call you so you can sift through deals. That takes a lot of money and marketing because there's tons of internet guys out there promoting their own businesses. Or you can approach one of the solution providing companies that we've talked about before and just skip the auctions, all the building of relationships with hard money and private money lenders. Skip all that building your own internet space and just approach them and get constant flow of fresh deals, because that's what the solutions providers are designed to do. They find them for you, so you can just go in there and fix, flip, and move on to your next deal. So you don't have to do all the back end work. They do it for you, and you don't pay them a fee. They just make their own spread. So it's a win-win situation. That's the best advice I can give them. And obviously, a good solution provider company already has a list of private and hard money lenders that you can start working with that they can recommend to you. So it's a really boutique operation for starting rehabbers and landlords.
Now, where does the seller come in on today's market as far as with this whole transaction? If you could just explain, like, as far as how would they leverage a solutions provider to their advantage?
That's a great question. Usually, in the past, the seller would have nowhere to go. You either get an agent to work the listing. He will put it on the MLS. He will get his fee. But that's in the good days where you can just sell real estate easily. That in the bubble days, 2000 to 2005, 6. You probably know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. You would just list property and somebody would snatch it. That's not the kind of market we're in today. And good agents are hard to find. Good realistic agents are hard to find. They work on commissions, so it's a hard balance that you gotta play with them on the valuation of your property. And they do not care about tailoring a solution for you. They just want to sell it within their time frame, which is 6 months. Maybe you only have a week. You got to liquidate. So they can't work with you and build that the relationship for you, obviously, because they're working other deals as well. Selling at FSBO, forget about it. I wouldn't suggest it to anybody. It's a heart attack.
Yeah.
Trying to do it on your own. What you can do is you can approach a solution provider, and you can boil down with them your situation. They can get to know your equity situation, your needs. What's your issue? I mean, what's your pain? Why are you trying to sell? What's going on with you? Are you trying to relocate? And they would find the perfect buyer for you. I mean, it just depends on the situation, and that's the whole point behind the solution provider model. They are what you would call a tailored solution. So, as a seller, just my first suggestion: find a solution provider. You have nothing to lose. Go over the situation with them. They do not charge any fees for boiling down your situation, giving you some good advice, and then either work more or do something else. But the bottom line is it's a perfect way for you to just know more about what's going on for you.
It's very good what you've just described. I mean, I love hearing about people who are thriving in today's economy by providing solutions, and inevitably, that's what entrepreneurship is about, is providing a solution to help people, and it's the best way to make money. It's a win-win. Lior, on a personal note, what are you doing with your own money right now?
Well, as I told you, the core positions that I like to take my capital and run with is the blue chip companies that you can find that are in buying territory, and that's going away now. In 2008 till last year, you can find more of them and buy something that's called a legacy position in them, and you never let go. Kind of like what Warren Buffett has done throughout his career to compound his wealth by about 20% a year, which is an amazing compounding rate. Mm-hmm. So I would suggest getting to know the good companies out there, and I know you're doing a good job of that as well a great job of that in your digest, and I follow you very closely, and I know that that's something near and dear to your heart as well.
Thanks.
I would also say that some money should be put away in cash and precious metals. The precious metals, just for protection, more of an insurance for a very, very rough time that might just happen. Cash for opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that's very important. Lots of investors are shying away from creating a cash position because they're afraid of inflation. But if inflation comes, it's not like an overnight event. You're going to know about it, and you're going to start diversifying your cash. But on the other hand, not having a cash position is putting you at risk for bad times of deflation. So putting a cash position in there, that's an important thing. I can just state that I've just read recently a Warren Buffett interview. He keeps $20 billion in cash for opportunity. Now, if just think about that number for a bit, let it draw on your mind. And you know what? The last thing I would say is put some money into real estate, but get educated first. It's not like buying a paper asset with a brokerage account. You need to know how to manage real estate. You just need to have a power team in play where you're investing, and it takes more time.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best ways as an individual to leverage, because you're using the renter's payment to decrease your financing. Mm-hmm. It's just brilliant. It's an amazing way.
Yeah, I know. I love rental property. Just the whole concept of somebody else paying off the mortgage and the cash flow, the hard asset. Just love it. Lior, if listeners want to contact you, where should they go?
Well, I would suggest first going to our business Facebook page. That's you go on Facebook and you just click LMA Real Estate Solutions Providers.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a rehabber, I would say go to our landing page for rehabbers, which is Bargain Fix and Flip. Bargain Fix and Flip. That's Bargain Fix, the letter N, Flip dot LARESP, which is short for LMA Real Estate Solutions Providers .com, and obviously it's going to be down there on your YouTube channel, I'm hoping.
Yeah, we'll definitely
if
put it
you're
up.
a landlord, if you're a landlord, go to our rental-cows.laresp.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to sell, go to winwinsell.laresp. I get confused.com.
No worries.
So, but it's all going to be down there, and I'm sure anybody would find it easy to find us online. We have a good presence, and hopefully we can provide value to your listeners.
Lior, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to talking to you many, many more times on a personal level, as well as seeing you hopefully either somewhere out there where it's sunny and warm and the water's crystal clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, Lior. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.